like to begin with a quick joke, just to lighten up the atmosphere. And I had a really long joke. As I presented it to my coworkers, they all nodded and made me erase it. So they gave me a quick two-liner, and you'll see why. It's actually a question-type joke. So the question is, why did the man put a clock under his desk? I know no one can answer because everyone's muted. Robert, Adrian, don't answer. Okay, let me give you guys the answer. It's because he wanted to work overtime. So there, that's the joke for the day. And now let's move on to a more serious matter. Thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate that you took time to allow us to present our time and billing exact. You'll notice throughout the presentation that I'll be referring to TBX. TBX, of course, is the acronym for time and billing exact. For today's agenda, I'd like to begin by sharing information with you about SWK and our proprietary enhancements. We will then move on to a quick recap of previous TBX webinars and then jump right into the presentation. During our presentation, we will be focusing on security and navigation screen layouts, multi-level time and expense entry via desktop, calendar, and web, upload of digital receipts. We will take a peek at the engagement maintenance screen, review custom rates, employee rates, just so you can remember the flexibility that TBX offers as far as the engagement setup, project, and employee setup. We will then look into the approval process, system automation, including the workflow schedule. We will talk about and show you the automated report delivery, client write-up and down, standard billing, credit memos and reversals, progress billing. Last but not least, we will view information requested by management, part of our management team actually. It has to do with business intelligence and the report designer. We'll look through a WIP analysis report, my time summary report, and the billing worksheets. Since we're going to be looking at these reports, we'll also take a peek at the expense reports and show you a little bit about the export functionality. Make sure you take notes about our session at Summit. It's a 20-minute session, and there will be promotions for clients that currently own any time and billing solution from SWK who are current or not current with maintenance, so we have special promotions for you. We also will be providing promotions to resellers and brand new TBX clients. So please make sure to stay tuned all the way until the end of the webinar for these announcements. Sorry about that, there was an ambulance going by. Who is SWK? Okay, ready for my quick commercial here? SWK is a Sage reseller. We've been around since the late 80s. Well, not I mean, I started fairly young. We're a gold certified Sage development partner, which permits us to use the Sage tool sets to create several Sage 100 enhancements, including Mapadoc integrated EDI. Our solutions have been in production for well over 16 years. We currently have over 1,000 installations of SWK enhancements, including extended solutions, well over 600 Mapadoc EDI implementations, and a very capable and dedicated technical team supporting our customers and partners nationwide. By listening to you and understanding your unique business opportunities and challenges, SWK's team is able to develop and deliver effective solutions just right for you and your clients. In fact, as you can see on the screen, our company's mission statement is to empower our clients and partners with knowledge, solutions, and tools for success. Who can benefit from TBX? Legal representatives can, CPAs, consultants, or basically any company that builds clients for time-based projects or services and wants to increase information accuracy and reliability can benefit from time and billing exact. Keep in mind, once again, I'm going to repeat it, time and billing exact software will be included as part of maintenance at no additional fee for customers who currently own any SWK time solution and have a current maintenance plan. So if you are current with maintenance, this software is yours. Let's go through a quick recap of items introduced and discussed during our previous TBX presentations. Upon its official release, TBX can be integrated with Sage 100 version 4.3 and above. The system will allow integration with the following Sage modules: Accounts Receivable, Time and Billing Professional, Timekeeper, and Sage CRM. The integration with Sage CRM will initially be one-directional, but we'll be focused on creating the bi-directional functionality soon after. Users will be permitted to run on a parallel instance. SWK will provide a migration and synchronization utility for the parallel instance. The migration utility will bring over AR customers as clients, Time and Billing Timekeeper and Time and Billing Professional employees, engagements, projects, jobs, work codes, time and expense history, work in process, and employee billing rates. So you're not going to have to type everything in manually to TBX. Avoid excuses from employees. They will have access to time and expense entry anytime, anywhere without taking up your Sage user licenses. That is correct. Upon the release of TBX, you will receive 50 device licenses included with the software. For those of you that have Timekeeper, for example, with 5 device licenses, this will now increase to 50 device licenses with TBX at no additional fee. Users will be able to access web-based time entry for their employee time tracking and project billing needs. We also talked about the fact that TBX offers an audit trail throughout the system, allowing you to keep track of any changes made and by whom. Paperless Office will inherit from your existing core ERP product. Invoices flowing through AR will have a Paperless Office functionality already preset. Spell check will be available throughout the system, and that will be at all text entry screens. After its initial release, TBX will become ERP agnostic. We will be targeting integrations with any ERP system that has a market. Yes, QuickBooks is one of them. I do have to mention a very important requirement. TBX requires SQL. It will run on SQL Express, which is free and available for download. Once again, keep in mind, TBX is available at no charge for all of those clients that have an existing time and billing solution from SWK and are current with their maintenance. Some of the pain points that we've encountered. Service companies often manage their business in silos with employees who, by the way, enter time manually. Projects and financials are all managed in different systems, for example. They struggle with diverse billing rates and various billing methods. They have little or no visibility into how remote employees are spending time. This makes it difficult to have operational and financial insight to remain competitive in an increasingly global landscape. In addition, billing clients quickly and effectively becomes very problematic. No one wants to go through this. TBX not only solves these issues, but it also increases the accuracy and reliability of billing invoices. I hope my PowerPoint wasn't too painful, and I hope the joke wasn't too painful either. Adrian, with this, if you wouldn't mind connecting with Robert, we are going to begin our presentation. By the way, if anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in as we are presenting, and Robert and I will address questions at the end of our presentation. Anything that we're not able to address at the end of the presentation, we will contact you personally and give you the answer to your questions. So let's begin. As you can see, Robert right now is logging in as an administrator. The reason behind that is the fact that we would like to show you all of the different features available within the system before we show you how the security settings will affect each employee. Navigating the system, for example, you can see the different navigation menus. All of the items that you see on the screen, the terminology can be adjusted, and it will run throughout the system. We're going to go into configuration. Configuration basically manages the configuration of the whole system. The app configuration allows a global configuration setting or integration points. Sage 100 sets what company it's integrated to, ODBC DNS, if you will integrate, and how to integrate with AR. In a parallel instance, you can set it up as read-only, so you don't have to worry about anybody making changes. Let's go to the security role really quick. In security role, you can set up your roles and how you would like to limit the different types of users to the system. You can also copy to new roles so that you don't have to recreate them. TBX offers highly configurable user privilege settings as well as safe and customizable user access. Different employees may require different permissions. You can set items up by employee. That way, each employee views only what they have been granted access to. For example, your Salesforce may need permission to track time using the web client, while your managers need permission to review and approve timesheets. No matter what the employee's role is within your business, TBX allows you to customize how they track time, what they can see on their home screen, who, if anyone, they are responsible for approving time and expense, and much, much more. The bottom line is that with customizable user privilege settings and access, TBX works as a secure billing software by catering to everyone associated with your project and business. Let's jump to the security user. Basically, the security user allows you to maintain and configure the specific users that can log in and set up their new password. So notice how we have the basic user on the screen right now, and they're able to reset up their password. We're going to go into the user settings now. Basically, the user settings govern an area where an administrator can take control of any employee system configuration. If you have a particular role where you want to set up a specific dashboard, for example, and you want to make the changes to the screen for a specific group of users, you can do this here instead of changing each screen individually. With that, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the billing rates. And basically, with the billing rates, I just want to mention that the billing rate allows for completely customizable billing rates per user and allows you to define an unlimited amount of billing rates per employee. Notice how I have several on the screen right now. We also have the employee level. With employee level, you can define an unlimited amount of employee levels or classifications of employees with a rate specific for each class. The engagement type, we're going to jump into any engagement just to show you that this is where you would set up the different engagements. So let's go into a fixed fee or a milestone engagement, just so you can get an idea of the flexibility that's available within an engagement setup. Notice how we have several tabs which will indicate which type of description we're going to be using for this engagement. You can see that for this particular sample, we'll use the progress build. You have actual time, default work code, default rate. And notice how on the right side of the screen you can also set the budgets for this particular engagement. You can set the custom rates. We're not going to stay too much on the engagement because I do want to make sure that we touch new items today. So we're going to go to the department right now. The department will basically allow you to allows the classification of employees actually, and displays a role in utilization report and analysis tool. So that's fairly simple. Just wanted to show you the flexibility. We won't jump into the offices, but you can assign employees based on each different office. And then as far as divisions, the division maps to your Sage 100 divisions. If you're posting WIP to GL, you can set up a WIP account and a WIP offset account. This will also play a role in retainer billing. Now, let's talk a little bit about setting up the main view screen. We talked about how you can set up the security roles and what exactly you'd like to give your employees permission to view. As admin, you can see that on the main view screen, which is the screen on the right side of your monitor, we have different tabs available for this particular administrator. Nancy Cook is a manager. She has her engagements, my tasks, access to my time history, my schedule, my cases in case you're integrated with Sage CRM. She also has access to approvals because she's managing several employees that she would have to approve time, as well as billing. And then for reporting purposes, you can use my time summary. What I'm going to do right now is log out of Nancy's home screen, and we're going to log in as a basic user. I'd like to show you the differences between the screens once the security settings have been completed for this basic user.
And we want
as
to
a
log
basic
into the
user, we've given this user permission to enter time and expense through the web entry screen. What you are seeing right now is the web entry screen, and we're going to go ahead and enter time. Notice how easy it is, and notice how this screen in the navigation menu has only a home screen available. The tabs above include only time entry. This particular employee does not have access to approvals or billing or anything else. So they're entering their time. There has been defaults set up for this employee. So when this employee chose the particular engagement, the defaults were already set up for him. All they have to do is enter their time and receive the total, enter a description, comments. The information being entered on the web entry screen will appear in your TBX screen, identical to what you see on the web entry screen. We're going to go ahead and jump into the TBX screen now with our basic user. This will show you a clearer picture of how the screen differentiates from the manager screen. Now that we're in TBX, again, notice that we only have access to the main home menu, and on my main view screen, I only have access to 3 tabs. They are my open time detail, my time history, and my time summary. I'm going to go ahead and enter time within the TBX screen. The same settings that I have within my TBX screen will flow throughout the system as well as the web entry screen. I do not have to make any changes at all. Given the permission, your employees will be able to enter both time and expense on the web as well as their time and expense entry screen within TBX. Once we finish entering this time, we're going to go ahead and enter an expense. And the reason that I like to go through several different entries is for you to take advantage and notice the ease of time entry that's available for you. The clean and crisp screen that your employees will have access to. Not that we want to limit anybody to this specific screen. You can add as much information as you need to the time and expense entry screen. Notice how we had the preset work codes. In this case, it's going to be an expense. And because it's an expense, you're also able to attach receipts to it. And Robert, it just dawned on me I didn't give you the receipts. I don't know if you have one handy.
I do not, but I'll just grab any file.
Yeah.
Just,
the point is you can attach documents. Okay. Thanks, Robert. The point is that you can attach documents to the different entry screens, and they will be carried through all the way to invoicing, or in this case, expense reimbursement. So with that, one more method of entering time that a lot of people also prefer is the schedule entry.
Okay, I'm going to jump into administrator. I'm going to do that via the web screen just to show you that, and I'm going to give that user some rights to see that schedule screen. So as you can see, we have a lot more tabs now. Everything that you can do in TBX you can do on the web as well. And we're going to go to the configuration and go to security role, basic user. We're going to edit this. We're going to uncheck those boxes. This is going to open up those tabs for that user. All right, so if I go back to log out and back in.
And by the way, you see the TBX logo coming up. That TBX logo can also be changed. As administrator, Robert has the rights to go back in and change the security settings for a particular user. So in this case, he just gave this. If you recall, previously the basic user only had 3 tabs. Notice how now the basic user has several tabs, one of them being my schedule. So as you can see with my schedule, you could basically enter the subject, choose a time frame, and you can, once you click on Build Time Entries from Schedule, you'll see the information that you're entering here go to your time expense entry screen as well.
Just one additional step that you need to do when you have these schedule records in there. You need to have it classified to an engagement and a work code. So we're going to flip through these and make sure that all of them are set. The last one that I keyed in is not set, so I'm going to simply set that engagement so that I can create that time entry. So we have 8 hours for the day. We're going to go to build time entries from schedule. We're going to select the day, 25, and it's going to go in and create those time entries for me. And as you can see, they're in here. TBX demo, work performed, and work performed. So.
And before we move on to the next step, I also wanted to show the recurring type of entry, Robert, if you'd like.
Oh yes, yes. So if we
it happens all the time where you have a particular project that you know is going to run for weeks, maybe months. You don't want to have to keep typing in the information every day, the amount of hours. So all you have to do is go to the recurrence area. Once you click on the recurrence button, notice how now you have options as far as the appointment time set, the recurrence pattern, which could be daily, weekly, monthly, and the range of recurrence. You can set it up with no end date, end after, end by. it's up to you. And once that is created, you don't have to go in and create it all over again. It will become available to you throughout your time entry system. And again, I'm repeating myself, but I want to reiterate. The information is entered, and it can be entered in these different areas. It doesn't make a difference. No matter where you enter the information, it will flow throughout the system in the same pattern. So with that, let's switch gears. This is a day in the life of an employee. The employee has entered time, entered expenses, had a recurrence project, so we've set that up for him. Let's now log out of the basic employee and go back in as an administrator. Our favorite administrator is Nancy. A manager.
Okay.
So our favorite manager is Nancy, and it is now time, after all of these items have been entered, for Nancy to approve time. Notice how the items are listed in her approval tab. All she has to do is simply select.
And I want to emphasize the in the home screen, the approvals tab only shows the approvals that are applicable to Nancy needing to authorize. So she's not going to see other employees in there that are managed by other people. It's only what she needs to manage.
Thank you. And in this case, she's able to select items one by one or all. Once she decides exactly what items she'd like to approve, all she has to do is click on the Approve button. And you can see the items have now been approved and moved over to the billing. I do have a note to mention the Open Related Record button. Before, well, you're in the, no matter where you are. Basically, the Open Related Record button, if you're in any field, for example, in the employee field, the Open Related Record button will allow you to open a detailed view of that particular field. So you don't have to jump out of where you're at and go back to the main screen or anything like that. You can simply click on that Open Related button and it'll give you all of the details regarding that particular field.
So as you can see, we've just navigated through the client engagement and employee screens. So you could think of this as a zoom button. I believe in Mass they have a hyperlink on the label itself. This pretty much works the same way as that label.
So now let's talk a little bit about system automation.
Okay. Before we get into system automation, I just wanted to show the billing worksheet. Here's all of the billing records that Nancy needs to manage. She can select everything in there that she wants to get into the billing worksheet, and she could invoke it directly from here. But we're going to use this as an example of where we're going to automatically deliver this to Nancy every week on Tuesday.
You stole my thunder. That was the whole thing about system automation. I was trying to sound like I was important, but that's exactly what I wanted to mention. And I mean, this is one of the features that many people started requesting when we initially presented TBX at the beginning of the year. They wanted a form to somehow have these reports automatically be sent to the people that required them. In this case, our manager requires the billing worksheet in order to review and approve any of the work in process that has been reported by the employees. So with this, they're able to receive a particular report on a certain date, and Robert is going to show you exactly how that works. We basically go to the system automation. Go ahead, Robert.
So we're in the system automation screen, and what we have in here is the workflow schedule. we have a workflow definition in here that that performs the actual task. The schedule is more or less like a calendar that has when you want things to be done. So we have one in here. It's a recurring entry. If I go to edit the series, you'll see what kind of detail we have in here. So we have a recurrence pattern in here every Tuesday from 12 a.m. every day or every Tuesday. We're going to send a report. So the scheduled delivery type is a report. The other types are an import. The other types are automated tasks. We're going to specify the report definition that we're going to work with. In this particular case, it's the billing worksheet. And in order to get a criteria of what you want to send in that report, you need an object type. And the billing worksheet is based off of the time detail type. And then in the criterion, you specify what it is that you want to have delivered. So you can get quite complicated with the types of entries that you could, or filters, but we're going to just keep it simple, and if it's billable, we're going to send it to Nancy. So essentially what happens is we have a Windows service that runs in the background, and all it does is it hits this button. And if I click this button, it's going to invoke the whole process. But this is going to happen automatically in the background. I'm going to hear a ding. I need my Outlook open to make that happen. So I'm just going to have that open, and then I'll start.
Yeah. Sorry, Robert. I was just going to tell them the story about Nancy.
Yeah, go ahead and tell the story.
It's something that we all go through, where you have someone designated to create these reports for you. You're expecting them on Tuesday morning. You don't get them until Thursday afternoon. You're falling behind on your billing. With this type of automation, your managers don't have to worry about obtaining the reports they need in order to proceed with the billing process. In this case, after our manager Nancy receives the billing worksheet, she's able now to double check and make sure there are no errors and continue with billing.
And the way this works is the workhorse is the workflow definition. If I go into this record, essentially it works kind of like a knowledge sync type thing, where it's going to be looking in your database and monitoring your database for a specific condition. And what we're looking for is we're looking for workflow schedule records that have a start date that's less than now. So when the time comes, when that time passes, we want to activate that item. And all it's doing is it's going out and it's activating that process button. And that happens automatically behind the scenes, no hands needed. And here's my worksheet. All right, so we have our billing worksheet automatically sent to us. Nancy fills this out, and she needs to perform some write-ups right down. She marks it up as she sees fit, and she's going to go back into her home screen. And again, the billing tab is only the billing records that are associated with Nancy. She doesn't see other managers' details in there. So we're going to do some write-ups and write-downs on this here. Okay. Well, we're not going to charge 45 cents. We're actually going to charge 30 cents a mile for this particular. So you see the write-down there. We're undercharging there.
Notice how easy it is for our manager to make the necessary corrections. Now she'll be able to provide clients with accurate and timely invoices. She's not struggling to get the reports. she's able to do write-ups or write-downs, and she's able to get them done quickly and efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and finalize. Yeah, go ahead.
If I needed to change some wording, I can add in additional and content. And we could save and close that, so we can, as you can see, you can modify the descriptions as well, which is important.
So you can edit the information, change the amounts, and once the corrections have been made, we can go ahead and finalize our final billing process. And it works similar to the approval process in the sense that you can select one by one, arrange, or all.
You could also use the filters up here at the top to filter down on specific clients. Okay, you want to chunk down to clients or engagements and do them one at a time, or you can just do them all at once. Anyway, you just select what you're going to bill, and in this case, we're just going to clear out Nancy's WIP and bill this all out. She just simply hits the bill button. That goes through and it generates all of those billing entries. So if we refresh the screen, we see that Nancy's now got an empty screen. Now, the home for those records are in the billing entry tab here. I'm just going to get rid of this. I have that there on purpose because I want to show you when we update this that we're not allowed to break any rules from mass. So at this point, but before we do that, I'm going to go into one of these bills and show you that they're still mutable at this point. So we're essentially looking at what the invoice is going to be just prior to it going up to mass. We still have the ability to do adjustments at this time and before we post them up. So you can do write-ups, write-downs at this particular stage as well. We're going to save this. We'll save and close. We'll select our range, and we're going to shoot these up to mass 100.
Once the Create Invoice in Sage 100 button is clicked on, you're going to go through your normal updating process with accounts receivable.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this particular record right here, I did not anticipate this one getting through like that. I probably have a similar record. But there's a mapping issue with the tax schedule, and Mass is saying, you can't get that information into this system without having a proper tax schedule. So you're unable to break those rules. So when you do get an exception message up here, you'll have to take corrective action, and then once that corrective action is taken, we're able to get those uploaded. But we did get these two invoices up into the system. We have invoices. You noticed how the invoice number was blank prior. It now contains a invoice number, and they're currently residing in an entry screen in Mass. We could open up that entry screen just by simply hitting the Open Invoice entry in Sage 100, and notice that we have our screen pop up as if we were in Mass already. So we did have something prior in there when we were testing, so we could go through and post these all through. Actually, I need to be in one of those invoices. So we'll just preview all of these items and flow them through the system. Everybody should be familiar with the accounts receivable flow. This is stock Mass 100, or Sage 100, I should say. And our gazillion registers.
So now that you're finished
so
posting, guess what just happened? Nancy found out there was a mistake.
Oh, no. All right. Well, we're going to go to our billing history, and we're going to get that last invoice that we had put into the system, and we're going to correct that mistake. We're going to go into that invoice, and we're going to hit reverse this invoice. We just simply hit this button, and now that invoice is now reversed in MAS. If we want to have a look at it, we can open up MAS invoice entry, and here's that credit memo. It's waiting now, ready to be posted. That's how simple it is,
and that's how simple it is to create the credit memo with the reversals. You click the button, you can make the changes, you can edit, and then send it back to Sage.
Okay.
I know Nancy was happy about not having to go through so many hurdles.
Yeah, Nancy's definitely happy with this because it's super easy. All right, Nancy had just remembered that Drew's rate had been increased to $120 because Drew's a lot more effective with his work because he's spending less time keying in and managing his projects now with this time and billing system, and is able to get more work done. So we've made those changes. We're going to save them, and we're going to push that back up into MAS. All right, so if we look at our MAS system, we can now see that we have our credit memo pending and our new invoice pending. So let's go ahead and post those through.
Now remember, this can be done. Nancy can actually do this because she is set up as a manager. She was given permission to do this. Not all employees have this type of access. Drew only has access to time and expense entry. That is all.
Correct.
Your standard Sage process, and then we'll be able to see exactly where that invoice is and what changes were made.
All right, a lot of clicking you got to do for that. Yeah, so I think that's a lot simpler. Don't you agree, Patty?
I know Nancy was very happy that she didn't have to go through so many hurdles, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about progress billing now.
Okay.
Again, progress billing was something that our channel partners brought up to our attention when we initially started presenting TBX. And basically, there are different types of billing setup. You saw that we have milestone billing, etc. But let's focus on progress billing right now.
Okay. So in order to get a progress bill on this engagement, we already got two on there. Let me find one that doesn't have any. I'm going to change this type to progress build. All right, so we're going to perform a progress bill on it. We're just going to simply create a new record. The type is going to be a progress bill. We're going to leave the invoice number blank. This is going to be populated by the Sage system once the invoice number is found in the system. And we're going to specify the amount that is needed. So we're going to do a $1,000 progress bill on it. Give it a code, TBX miscellaneous code, and this is associated with that. All right, so we're going to save this record. I'm going to expand this out so I can see my buttons. We're going to generate a billing entry for this. Once I've hit that button, I am now going to see one of those that entry in here. Here's our progress bill right here. And we could now send this up to Mass. So create invoice in Mass. We can have a look with our trusty Zoom button. There's our invoice. We've already gone through the posting process twice. No need
and
to
notice how
go
easily
over that again.
he's able to jump. Notice how easily he's able to jump back into Sage 100 invoice data entry. Click of a button, that's all it takes. We have 12 minutes, Robert. I'd like to go through business intelligence and report writer.
Yes, yes. Wow, time flies.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
with built-in business intelligence, you'll be able to analyze your data in multiple dimensions, implement charting, reports, etc. With ad hoc reporting, you can give a detailed account to your clients in a matter of seconds. You can track hours, project income, invoice balances, and see your progress with contractors, users, clients, taxable items, expenses, and more. All reports feature powerful filters and options for each report, stored filter combinations to run commonly accessed reports, and easy exporting to Excel and other formats. And we'll end the presentation with that export. There is an in-place report feature which will allow you to open reports directly from a detail screen without having to flex with the parameters. You do have direct zoom in the report. Go ahead, Robert, take it away.
All right, so I'm going to start out with the WIP analysis report. This is new since we've talked last. We've added in some buckets for your 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and over 120. So all of your time is going to fall into one of those buckets. Now this is a pivot grid, so you're going to be able to rearrange this view to match what it is that you're looking for. So currently this is our WIP per customer. Maybe we want to see our WIP per employee. We drag the customer name out of the area and we drag in its place employee. Now we're actually looking at all of the employees' WIP and where their WIP is in terms of the buckets. If you want to get engagement detail in here, you can do so as well, and now have a breakdown of Drew and all of the different engagements he's working on and where his WIP is. You can get quite granular in terms of where your data is just by dragging and dropping more information that you need in various places. Perhaps the bucket says you don't need that. You can just drag them out, and you just want to have a look at just the extension and do a cross tab with work code. So as you can see, you have so many different reports all in one area. Everything that you see in front of you is exportable to Excel. But before I do that, I'm going to show you a very quick thing that needs to be learned if you use this, is the clear settings. So I want to go back to scratch. I clear settings, and I'm back to my original definition. You could create as many definitions as you want and plug them into your navigation screen to create dashboards and such. And I just want to demonstrate the export functions. So if I right-click on here and I hit Export, Excel, I'm going to have a nice file sitting on my desktop with all of that information. Notice how the formatting is exactly as you saw it in the Excel spreadsheet. So you could arrange your numbers however you need to see them, and then do your extra number crunching with Excel. Very powerful feature. You have that feature in various different places in the system. One of them is on your home screen, which is my summary. So if I want to see what clients I've worked on in my summary, I can do that. That's all of the clients that I've worked on and how much revenue I've made for each of them. Same idea, just drag and drop. Go ahead, Patty.
Sorry, Robert. I wanted to point out the fact that you can add or take away fields from this report. If you don't need all of that information on the screen, you can always hide a lot of those fields that Robert has on the screen, or if you need additional information, you can always add them. We tend to have a lot of these fields on the screen for the presentation, but the point I'd like to make more than anything is that the screen, the reports, everything is customizable. The view that you want, as clean as you want it, it can definitely be done. It's just a matter of you choosing what type of information you would like to keep on the screen or on your report. He's going to show you how easy it is to drop a column in each area.
That's right. And we've pretty much put like the main things that you would commonly use up in the filters area. But if you don't find the fields that you would like to report on, you're likely to find it in that Show Fields list. You have a whole slew of options in terms of that record. Not only do you have those options, but you have a wizard here that will bring you through configuration of this grid. This can be time-consuming to go over, so I'm not going to go into detail, but essentially if you have a field that you can't find in here, just know that you have that wizard available, and chances are we're going to get that field that you need into this report.
Is the chart functionality on, Robert?
Yep, you just right-click on this and show a chart.
I wasn't sure if you had anything there that might include. The point is you're able to also create a chart based on the information that you have on the screen, which I didn't know whether or not we had turned on here. We probably don't.
There we go.
There you go.
All right, so you drag what you want the chart on, and you get a nice pretty graph there below. If you right-click over it, you could invoke a wizard, and whoa, you got all sorts of charting abilities galore. Just too many to go over in so little time. But I mean, splatter charts and polar area charts, radar, stock charts, you name it. We have it in here. So there's a plethora of charting options. And this isn't the only place that you're going to be able to get charts. There is a create dashboard function where if you want to create a static dashboard that dynamically changes with new data, you could set that up in here and add these graphs as you need. That's an advanced topic.
Here's the nice thing about all of these features that Robert is mentioning. When we initially provide services to install and set up TBX for you, we offer a flat rate for this to be done. So any information that you would like to see as part of your setup will be covered within that flat rate setup fee. It's very minimal. It's under $2,000. For more information about pricing, you'd have to contact your Sage channel partner, but please keep that in mind. I know that there is a lot of information. There's a lot of options available for you. The key is we want to make sure the software is following your business model and not the other way around. We don't want you to have to change anything that you're accustomed to doing because of the software. Robert, if you want to, Adrian, I'm sorry, if you want to go ahead and hand it back over. If anyone has any questions, I would also like to mention a little bit about the Summit session as well as our booth at Summit in case anyone is going to attend Summit this year. Please note I've added the different enhancements that SWK has to offer. You can see the apparel matrix, bill of lading, mass transit, multi-bin, and then the note about TBX being included for those that have a current SWK time solution maintenance plan. If you are attending Summit, don't miss the 20-minute overview of TBX. We will have the experts at Summit. Robert will not be attending, but he will be available for questions via mobile phone. And SWK will be at booth 922. So if you will be at Summit, stop by and visit us. Also want to mention the fact that we have the SWK Mapadoc for EDI. Keep that in mind as well. This is especially important for distributors and manufacturers. And then I want to leave my contact information on the screen for you in case you do run into any questions. Adrian, do we have any questions?
Yes, we have quite a few questions. So
we have a few minutes to spare. So
if we could have everybody just take note of your contact information briefly, that would be great. I do have a poll I'd like to launch, just one poll while we're announcing questions. And if I could just ask the audience to answer this poll, that would be great. Are you interested in learning more about Time and Billing Exact? And we have several questions here. Does Time and Billing integrate with Sage 500? Thank you, Jason.
Highland Billing?
Do
you know the answer?
Does Time and Billing, does this solution, Robert, integrate also with Sage 500, or do you have plans for integrating it with Sage 500?
Yes. Sage 500 is definitely a target platform. We're focusing first on the Sage 100 integration, but as soon as that gains traction, we will be targeting other ERP solutions. And Sage 500 is definitely one of them.
Thank you for that answer. Can the schedule and tasks be synced with Outlook?
I am definitely looking into a way to do that with the employee calendar, or when you go into the home screen and you have the schedule. So ultimately what I would like is to pull in your detail from your Outlook calendar, because that pretty much defines your day right there. And if you have detailed notes out there, you pretty much already have your time keyed in as it is there. So definitely that is on the plate. I don't know if I'm going to have that for the first release, but definitely it is going to be in the product at one point in time.
And this is a double question. Did you say that if we are current with Time and Billing or Timekeeper maintenance, we already have Time and Billing Exact? Did you say 15?
You don't already have it. I'm sorry, go ahead, Adrian.
There's just two parts to this question. Did you say 15 users or 50 users? So that's it.
Okay. So you are entitled to receive TBX software at no charge if you are current with Time and Billing Professional, or Timekeeper maintenance. And with TBX, you will receive 50 device licenses at no additional charge. And that's 50.
Perfect. And then we have another question from James. Thank you, James. We are a Sage reseller and currently own Time and Billing Pro and Timekeeper 31 remote users. How much would it cost to for us to have 40 Time and Billing users?
Nothing. If you're current with maintenance, and it's a great question because I want to make sure everybody knows this. If you are current with your maintenance, no matter if you're a Sage reseller or an end user, you are entitled to TBX with 50 device licenses at no additional charge. So once it's released, you will be the first people we contact to let you know it's available for download most likely, and contact us for assistance with the installation and implementation, as well as training.
And then we have another question from Jason. Thank you, Jason, again. Can Time and Billing be accessed from a mobile device? Can data entry be done from a mobile device?
Mobile tablets, definitely. Anything that can get into a browser. You're going to be a little bit hard-pressed with a mobile phone at this point in time because the screen real estate is just so small. However, we do have ideas in the pipeline to have a true mobile platform for it outside of a web app.
And is it possible for an employee to time various projects? For example, we have a project where we are applying labels and bagging a product. We have 3 employees working on it, and I would like each employee, sign in when they begin and then sign out when they are finished.
I had another client ask a similar question, and I do have plans to implement something like that, where we have a punch clock station where somebody's going to key in their user code and clock in and out of jobs. So once they clock in, it starts the timer, and when they clock out, it stops the timer and creates the entry record. So yes, we are going to have that in the product. It's questionable whether it's going to be released with phase 1 or, but it definitely sounds like a phase 2 item.
And will that, Robert, will that track the total time spent on that job?
Correct.
Okay. So thank you, Peggy, for that question. Do we need to keep Timekeeper with TBX?
There is such a thing as a parallel install where you can keep it in place while you're testing it out and getting used to the system. And then when you feel comfortable, you can flip the switch and be completely on TBX, and then discontinue use of Timekeeper or time and billing.
That's a really good question, because one of the reasons someone might want to continue using Timekeeper is if they are currently integrated with payroll or job cost. TBX in its initial release will not have that integration, but if you're running a parallel instance, it will allow you to continue with that integration until we're ready for the full TBX integration to these modules. So the answer is, depending on what modules you're integrated with, you might want to continue using Timekeeper along with TBX until all of the modules you're integrated with are available. And if I just confused everyone even more, please contact me afterwards, and Robert and I will explain this a little better.
And then does the same thing go for Time and Billing and Time and Billing Pro with TBX?
The same thing would apply. Yeah, the difference is with Time and Billing, the standard Time and Billing only has the accounts receivable, mini accounts receivable written into it, and the integration with accounts payable. So if you're integrated to accounts payable, Robert, will they also need to continue using it?
No, we're integrated to accounts payable.
Okay, so we're okay there. So with the standard Time and Billing, no need to keep the standard Time and Billing, only for testing purposes, as Robert mentioned. With Time and Billing Professional, you would be integrated to accounts receivable, accounts payable. I think with Time and Billing Professional, you won't need to continue running Time and Billing Professional either. The only one that we have concerns about right now is Timekeeper, because of the integration to job cost and payroll. That is all.
And then can TBX be integrated with Sage 100 Contractor and or Sage 300 ERP? Thank you, James.
That's going to require some investigation. Sage 300 definitely is going to be on in the pipeline in terms of the other ERP systems that we want to target. I'm not sure about Sage Contractor.
And when is the anticipated release date?
Oh, the question I was dreading. So we've anticipated from day one that it would be released before the end of this year. We're still on target. I was trying to give everyone the surprise that we would have it ready by Summit, but unfortunately we couldn't make it happen by Summit. The bottom line is, It should be available for release and available for download before the end of this year. As soon as I have a specific date, I will send an announcement to the channel, and we will have one final webinar to go through all of the features and functionality and also provide you with more detailed information as far as the time required for installation, implementation, and training.
And just an FYI, if you do see functionality in this demonstration that you can benefit with immediately, you could qualify as a beta test client and receive the software sooner.
I have another
Adrian,
question
I think
here.
we went.
I do have another question here.
Oh.
We use time and billing, but not Sage AR. Will this work with AR?
Yes, this will work with AR.
I mean, without AR. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I kind of got confused.
Yeah, not at this stage in the game. Phase 2, we're going to be targeting a GL only integration, so you wouldn't be able to jump on for phase 1.
So if it's just a standard time and billing with the mini AR written into it, can we integrate it to TBX, Robert?
Can you repeat the question?
If they have the standard time and billing, okay, standard time and billing has a mini AR written into it that doesn't integrate with Sage, can they integrate the standard time and billing with TBX and invoice through the standard time and billing?
No, it needs the business object interface to be able to flow those through. So when we get to the point of targeting a GL only integration, we'll be handling the whole AR side in TBX.
Which means that those who have the standard time and billing will require to run that parallel instance that we were talking about.
Correct.
That was a great question.
Yeah, and they still could use the system in parallel to reap the benefits of the business intelligence tools and the project management tools, regardless of still leveraging the standard time and billing to still do the invoices.
And we have one last question.
Do you have anything else, Adrian? Because I think...
Yes, we have one last question. I know we're 10 minutes over. Thanks, everybody, for sticking in there with us. We have many recurring fixed fee engagements. Can the progress billing type be used for employees to enter their activities?
Progress. Can you rephrase the question?
It says, we have many recurring fixed fee engagements. Can the progress billing type be used for employees to enter their own activities?
I'm going to need to speak with that person one-on-one to really get a sense of what they're doing and what they need to accomplish to answer that.
Perfect.
I am definitely curious as to coming to an answer. So make sure that I have some contact information for that question, and I'll get in touch with that person.
Thank you, James, for that question. I will point that out on the report over to James once we get the report finalized. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. We have recorded this entire presentation, and I'm going to be sending a follow-up email to everybody. And we sure just appreciate you spending time with us. Patty and Robert, I'm going to go ahead and let you make some closing remarks.
Thanks, Adrian. Just want to thank everyone for allowing us to present TBX once again. We're looking forward to seeing all of you at Summit, those who will be attending. We really appreciate your time, your questions. They were excellent questions. We document them, so believe me, everyone's going to find out the answers and know them eventually documented. Thank you, Robert and Adrian, for your help today. Everyone have a good afternoon. Robert?
Thank you, everybody, for the opportunity to demonstrate this. One of the things that I was hoping to be able to demo for you is the report designer. I'm a bit disappointed that we didn't have time for that. but perhaps next time. It's another very powerful tool, and I can't wait to let you guys see that.
Perfect. Thank you,
Thanks
everybody.
again, everyone.
Have a fantastic day.
Thanks, Adrian.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.